Look at those fresh puppies. Put it in white. And pull it out. Rip. Wow. You can't even see the color. Alright, so we're back from my dad's place there. He's the one who was doing the powder coating. That was my sister you seen in the video. She was doing some lapidary work, which is working on rocks. But check this out. Like, damn. Nice job, Dougie. Anyways, starting to get the lugs on. And wow. It just adds that flair I want. And I also did my steering bolts up top, so that'll be unreal. But let's get the engine cover on and the intake on. I can't wait. Woo! Alright, so I've decided the next thing I want to do here, and I've only decided this because I've given the opportunity with this new engine, is I want to move my winch inside. So, it's going to be a lot of work. I really only have this week to do it because we're going camping again. But I've opened up a lot of free space in there, not having my muffler go in there anymore. So by cutting out this front grill area, I can move this winch possibly up into there and actually have a real tube bumper, which I've always wanted, because that's what Musty's missing, is more tube work up front. Anyways, first thing I gotta do is take off the winch, the light, and start cutting and feel out and figure out where I want to put my winch. So let's do this. Tube bumper upgrade, let's go. Check that out. Get the winch off, unbolting everything. See my front axle, how I did it kinda. Couple braces. Anyways, plan now is to cut out Musty. So Musty's gonna have to get remounted again. And then cut out two sides here, and then take out this grill piece. Put the winch in, make a bumper. Should take like 10 minutes maybe 8. Depending on if I want to grind stuff or not. I'm kidding, this is going to take freaking all week, because that's how long crap takes to make. Anyways, let's get to this, because this is going to be a fun one. I do like upgrading the fronts of the mowers, because that's a big thing you see in a lot of the pictures. And I've always wanted a nice tube bumper. Not a big stinger, but a nice little stinger. So we'll see what I can come up with. I really don't know what I want, but we'll see what I can make. So let's do it. All right, check it out. Do a little welding. Okay, so the winch has a pretty funny 4-bolt pattern for it. As you can see, it's got 2 offset holes from each other. Anyways, as you can see, I put this 3/16 piece of metal. It's about 12 inches long and about 3 inches wide in there, and then I did a couple bent pieces. So I'm not finished. I'm going to replicate that onto this side, and I am going to leave this center spot open so I can get my hand in to get the nuts on the winch bolts there. But this will look identical on the other side, and then once that's done, I'll be able to actually re-weld the front of the grill back on, and then make my own front grill piece here. Right, so there's an idea of what it's going to look like. Obviously, that's pretty sweet. I got tons of room in there to pack a 2,500 pound winch in there. No problem. So front grill will go right back over the front. and we can button that all up. But I really like the way that's going, and more metal, more weight, and stronger. I definitely laid a few beads in there, a few on this side, and I'll have to remount or rewire the winch over to this side because this was originally down here. But this just saved me like so much front end damage control, because the winch was always the lowest spot and I was so scared of hitting that on things. But with this open spot now, I'll be able to build a nice tube front bumper that I can nail things on. And then the other thing was, I had nothing to grab onto to lift up the front other than the winch when it was outside, and that wasn't the most comfortable on the hands. So that'll be pretty decent. But I'm all done for the day. Me and the lady friend are gonna go make some dinner and watch the TV and just relax for the night. And then I'll be back in here. But tomorrow I'm gonna be working on that Murray over there, getting it all ready to be sold. So let's go. Alright, so day 2, we finalized the welding here, getting this side all done. So see, laid a few more beads in there, and I am gonna leave this front section open because then I can get to my wiring, and you can see my 4 bolt holes. I can actually get my hand up in there. It's nice and hot still from the welding, so that kind of hurt. Not gonna lie. Anyways, the next thing to do is to actually mount the winch in there. Or actually, sorry, I'm actually gonna paint the inside of this area black, just because I don't really want you to see any of it, because it's just mounting and frame bracing, and just doesn't need to be seen, because I want you to just see the grill that's gonna be in front of it. So that's what I'm gonna do, paint it up black and get it going. Alright, so didn't have to extend the wires on the winch at all. I just had to cut a couple zap straps and move them in here. So as you can see, positive, negative inside. Now that's completely in there now. That used to, in comparison, sit, the positive used to sit right down here. So it's like a foot difference, or like 10 inches difference. And I got no low spot on my front now, which is unreal. Kept my lights in, didn't burn those off. Those little orange guys. So as you can see, painted in the inside, so it's just black. Doesn't look all mix matchy match, but that's working out really decent. I got to go pick up some metal from the store and start doing some tube work and whatnot. But I got to figure out what I want to do for my front grill here now. If I want to use the original pieces or if I want to make my own or what, I'm not too sure yet. So you guys will see that in a little bit. Mitch, what are you working on there, buddy? Mitch is into scale RC crawling. So we got the 1/24 scales, and then Mitch just picked up the 1/10 scale here. So I also got one, but Mitch has a pretty pimped out one right now, and it's only getting better each day. So he's working on that. And like you guys have been seeing, I've been working on front of the mower. But I got the front grill tacked on. I made some new grill inserts, and then I'm just grinding the front of the bumper. Me and Tony just picked up the DOM tubing for the front. So it's 120 wall DOM tubing. So it should be pretty thick. I might even fill it with some sand to give it some weight, but it's pretty hefty as is. So let's get a design made up and get it welded up and see what it looks like. All right, so next day working on it. So now we're actually working on the tube bumper itself. I put a 3/16 plate on the front just to give me a flat surface. I just got to grind down a couple of the top welds there and then weld the bottom side. But I'm getting anxious. I pulled out the Rogue Fab tube bender. And when I pull out the tube bender, I have to pull out the Buildco Tools tube notcher. This is a guillotine tube notcher. Works unreal. One of my favorite tools, along with the M600 tube bender or Rogue Fab. Those are also, these are like, yeah, I just love working with these tools because I love working with fresh metal, and that doesn't always happen here. But when I'm working with the tube bender, it's always fresh metal. All right, so in my previous videos, I've shown how to use this thing. It is a air over hydraulic. So I hook up my air compressor to this hydraulic ram here, and it puts air into the hydraulic system there and pumps up the ram. So I don't got to do it by hand. It goes a lot faster. So I'm going to be bending up my front piece That's just going to be two back-to-back 90s, as close as I can get it, I think. About 15 inches apart, I believe, is what it is. So I'm pretty sure this tube bender can do it, and we're going to find out. So if you guys have been watching, or maybe you haven't, and this is the first video you're catching, I built a full cage for my Ford 140. And I'll put a clip in of what that looks like right about now. Alright, so that thing's pretty sweet. As you can see, the tube bender does some crazy work and it looks unreal and I love it. It's such a good setup along with the tube notcher. So this was pretty sweet. Again, thanks Rogue Fab. Can't wait to keep using this thing. It's just one piece of tool, two pieces of machinery that I'll always have and will always be making dope ass metal projects with. Let's get to it. Alright. So, luckily with this setup, you got a nice big scale for your angle. So this has 0 to 195, so I can literally bend almost around and touch itself. Pretty decent. Or like, not touch itself, but like, you can bend it around, and then if they're long enough, you could touch. Anyways, I'm setting it up at 0 right now. I got it into 3.5 CLR. That means my offset's 6 1/4, which means from here, it's 6 1/4 inches, it's gonna actually start the bend. So anything before that, if you want to do a bend, you can't really, unless you do buy some other upgrades for the bender. So go on to Rogue Fab to check that out. But if you're just looking to do some bends right now, this is how I have it set up. I got my other pin, my pressure pin set up. My pressure pin's in the 3.5. So the top one, top hole, and that's where my pressure die is. You can actually get a roller die if you go onto the Rogue Fab. Check that out. Alright, so all we have to do after we installed the pipe into the clamping block here, which is just two 14mm bolts and an aluminum block that clamps your tube nice and tight. So when you push, when this actually starts bending, that won't actually move whatsoever. Sprayed a little bit of WD-40 on the roller die itself and on the pressure die in the back here, just for lubrication of the pipe. So let's start bending here. So with the pressure, with the air setup, I can literally just Alright, so I changed my mind actually. I'm actually only going to go to 75 degrees because the way I was thinking about it in my head is that's the way I was thinking about it in my head, 75 degrees. So 5 more degrees here. And I just go like 2 degrees over just so that when your preload afterwards drops back down to 75 degrees. I love that. You can literally just like do. Okay, so then you just hit this button, or this little valve here, boom, crack it out, reset the die, turn the valve, and you're good to go again. So there's the pressure die. That's 70 degrees with not a warp or anything. I love this bender. That's just so nice. That's 120 wall thickness, so pretty decent thickness. Unreal. I love it. Okay, let's do it to the other side. Get this mounted on the mower or something like that. I mean. Unreal. I love this stuff. Tube work's the fun stuff. Finally getting to do some tube work on Musty, and we're doing a lot, or at least a decent amount. So, two very similar bends, exact same angle. Actually, they're 75 degrees. So, unreal. Let's do this. Right. So I got my tube bent out here, and I got some spots drilled or wire wheeled down on the frame here. So that's roughly where it's gonna sit. Oh fuck! So I have my big knees. So that's roughly where it's gonna sit, right above Musty. Me and Musty can eat our beef jerky. We get it from Tony's place actually. He owns, him and his family own Bonanza Meat and Delis, and they got a shit ton of stuff. So check them out. That's where I always get my beef jerky and all my meats and stuff like that for cooking and crap. So Well, actually, I'll show you guys some more of that kind of stuff in the future here from Tony's Bonanza Meats, because it's unreal, and I love it. Nothing beats that. You guys don't weld in your freaking fishing hat? Golly. See what it looks like from back here. Oh, damn. Okay, you like it? Okay, I got a nice level of where I want it basically. I did weld most of the way around the pipe. So the next thing to do is cut apart my fair lead so I can just have the fair lead again, and figure out the two pipes that it's going to be coming off of. So there's going to be two tubes coming up to here like that. So I'm going to go bend two tubes probably like 50 degrees, 45 degrees probably at an angle, two of them like that, and then those two will sit like that. We'll see how it looks in a minute. Let's go do it. Alright, I got my two 45-degree angle bent pieces here. I got some rough Sharpie marks on there of where I want to cut it. So I'm going to cut those to the rough length I want, and then I'm actually going to put this into the BuildCo tube notcher there, the guillotine tube notcher, and do a tube notch on the top, and then just a straight cut on the bottom. Suck those right up onto the front bumper. So let's get it going. First thing to do, chop it. Luckily for me, got a nice portable bandsaw here. Rough difference there. Okay, so let's get the other one chopped up now. Okay, the next thing now we can do is actually get in the tube notcher. So we'll set up the BuildCo. Alright, so we can hit a little more than halfway. Looking at roughly 50 degrees. Set our lock screw. Adam, if you are watching these videos, thank you for making everything 14mm or 9/16. Like one wrench for everything. Same with the Rogue Fab stuff. Unreal, boys. Alright, so I'm working on a couple more tubes for the front bumper. Got the bottom two tubes in, and then Tony, me and him are just talking. We're always talking.
Thinking about different customizations.
Exactly. Let's check this out. Normal. Custom. So Tony's building these little tiny
Little eyelids?
Little eyelids, exactly. So there's literally no purpose to them other than it gives this front end a really cool look. It looks custom. Mm-hmm. Anyways, thanks, To. Appreciate that. Alright, check that out. So we just got back from Princess Auto. Picked up a couple D-links. And we welded in the fair lead. Now I know it's kind of down, it's off on an angle, and I do like that, and that's because I'm running my line from behind there, not through here, but through that one little sucker down there, and then it'll come through the fair lead. So I just didn't want to be putting forces where there shouldn't be, or making the winch line come out at stupid angles or whatever. Still got to finish a few welds here, but this is definitely how it's come along. Tony made me a couple eyelids like I was showing you there, so really coming together, like damn. Wow. So that's nice and sweet. Next thing I'm gonna do is, well, I guess I need to finish welding and I gotta figure out my pod situation. So, probably gonna be hitting up Vivid Lumen here pretty quick, see what they got, and then get that sucker installed. Decent. I got one more day. We're leaving tomorrow for camping, so I wanted to have this rig all tuned up and looking spiffy. So test out the winch on the weekend. Let's do this. I want to go camping. You ready, Musty? All right, we're heading out in T-1 day. Woo! So gotta get the mowers all prepped up. Tony found out that his throttle pedal's a little loose, so he's just gonna be tightening her up.
Yep.
Get that all tightened up.
Just get a few things checked off the list and make sure everything's tight.
Yeah, that's the big one, is honestly, like we've said before, the tightness. Always go back and check your bolts. It's one thing that you got to do probably every ride almost, is a bolt check. So Tony's doing that. I got Musty almost all done, ready to go. A couple little things. You guys have been seeing previous videos. I just did my front bumper. So there she is, all giddy. So we got a locking unit now, so we can't lose Tony on the strap line. And then I got D-links so that I can pull them up if I just want, or if I want to get pulled out and not use the winch line as my tow hook. Couple new stickers on here. We got the Leatherman, Rogue Fab. Got a new pocket on the side, which is nice. Vivid Lumen on the back, Buildco Tools, Leatherman, these. Yeah, me and Tony's super excited. Hopefully the other boys get their mowers ready to go, but either way, me and Tony are gonna go hit some stuff this
we're
weekend.
gonna be hitting it for sure.